Khiang is with us now. He's the Vice Chairman of Royal Golden Eagle. He's also the Chairman of April Group. Khiang, thank you very much indeed for your time today. Now, you have to be applauded because you are taking the initiative on making the production process in the garment industry more sustainable, more green. So just give us an indication of how you measure whether you are hitting those ESG goals and whether you are delivering, first of all.
Well, Shri, thank you for having me here.
Our pleasure.
You know, as you said, the textile industry, it produces 1.5 billion garments every year. 30% of them are unsold. And it goes to the landfill, right? You know, 12.8 million tons of garment are in a landfill, right? So you can imagine it's one truck every second going to the landfill. And as you said, it produces 10% of a global greenhouse gas.
So like unsold food produce that goes to waste, you also have clothes that can't find buyers, that don't go to market, that go to waste as well.
Yes, yes. And that's where we are investing the $200 million, right? You know, today we are taking tree-based wood to produce viscose. You know, what we want to do with the $200 million is really to invest in closed-loop technology, as well as in recycling technology. You know, so that there'll be zero waste from our production, zero pollutants, as well as when the viscose at the end of their life of use will be recycled back to the beginning, at the raw material for production. What we call a sustainable fashion or circular production process.
I was going to say, it reminds me of sort of a virtuous circle,
yes.
right? But I mean, good that you're investing in this. In terms of your pricing, is that going to likely make some, if not many, of your products more expensive or not?
Well, I mean, the technology we are looking for has to be focusing on quality, number one. Number two, has to be affordable and scalable. You know, but besides the cost, the point is that we have to do it right. We are the leading viscose producer in the world, you know, and we are fully integrated from plantation to the end product, the yarn itself. So we have every opportunity to make sure the quality along every process is right, and we make sure that it is meeting the consumer's need, you know, at an affordable price. And therefore, we have to take that leadership in investing the $200 million.
I like the way you describe it. You have to do it right. Does that suggest that you're willing to take the hit on margins, or that you're going to pass it on to the consumer?
Well, I mean, RGE as a group has always taken the approach, do it right first, then talk about the costs, you know, and we do a lot of continuous improvement to drive the cost down after that. But do it right fundamentally.
So Khiang, what are you doing to make the other parts of your business, which are perceived as being pollutant and responsible for environmental degradation, talking about palm oil and paper, what are you doing to make those part of the businesses more sustainable?
Well, we have a sustainable policy at the RGE level, and every business in our group follows that. And we strictly audit them on it to make sure that they're sustainable. I mean, April itself, I know there's a lot of allegations, but that's not true. I mean, we have been sustainable. We have a sustainable forest management policy.
Then why have Greenpeace and the World Wildlife Fund suspended engagement with April in 2017?
Well, I mean, there was some fundamental disagreement, which at that point in time we choose to agree to disagree and then part ways, you know, because there were some differences that could not be reconciled. But, you know, we still believe in doing right, you know, and since then we have been improving our sustainable practices all along. And we got SEC Green Label certification, you know, and all the other certification like PAFC and so on and so forth. And on top of that, you know, we have an independent stakeholder advisory committee to advise us to watch where we are going, to make sure we do what we say. You know, that's a plantation side, right? But I think the focus today is really beyond the plantation. How do we make the production, you know, produce zero waste and pollutants? And how do we recycle material back, you know, for longer use?
And are you on target?
We are not. We are just starting on it. You know, obviously this investment is a big decision. We are looking for companies that can help us do that, to pilot and scale up, you know, and bring that about.
And one of the biggest issues, I suppose, in this region, and it's palpable over here in Singapore, is the haze, deforestation.
Yes.
Do you have a line, Khiang, on how that can be mitigated and arrested?
Well, I mean, at our company level in April, we have what we call a fire-free village program. We go to the villages, we give them an alternative means to fire, to clear land, because that's what they need for livelihood, right? And on top of that, we help them build infrastructure. If at the end of a dry season, they have 0 fires.
So if I could interrupt you, describe that alternative means physically, because the root of the problem, the haze, the forest fires that many of them emitting from Indonesia, has to do with what's called swidden or slash and burn agriculture, which is the cheapest way to do it.
Absolutely.
And which is the way that farmers there have been doing it for decades, if not centuries.
Correct.
What alternative are you giving them?
So we engage a villager to be the chief fireman, so to speak, and he coordinates with us. If they want to clear land, we provide them mechanical means to clear.
Okay.
Right? So they don't have to pay for it, and we help them do the land clearing.
And you bear their cost.
Yes,
yeah.
And that has been very successful since 2013 when we initiated this. We have very little fires on our concession areas, and we're going beyond our concession areas to tackle fires even, to suppress them.
Okay. And that is happening on a grassroots level, so to speak, and it's enforceable. You can police it. It's transparent. You know that it is happening, as opposed to just paying lip service. Because the allegation, I guess, from the environmentalists and the activists is that, look, all this glossy PR is fine, but it's not really happening on the ground. How can we ensure that it is happening on the ground, Khiang?
Well, I mean, we monitor it very closely. What the villagers do. And we work with the villagers. It's not enforcement per se, but it's really convincing them that haze is even a hazard to their own health and to their children's health. And it is a permanent mindset change that's taking place in the villages.
I have to ask you this, okay? How much of this engagement and persuasion and work with not just the Indonesian farmers, but with the Indonesian side, is at a very personal level because of your background, former head of army, and the relations and connections you may have at the highest levels in Indonesia, including at the defense force level? Because in terms of the policing, whether these farmers are doing things the right way, it's going to come down to them.
Well, I mean, we have always operated on the basis of doing good for the community, country, climate, customer, then be good for the company. So for many years, we have conducted community development programs. So we have had this relationship with the villagers over all the years. And that's how we are able to convince them, because there's trust, there's relationship. And that's how we are able to bring them to that point of stopping fire to clear land.
But you're in your previous life, the G2G defense ties, do they come in helpful? I'm sure they do.
Yeah, they do.
The
but at the end of the day, the intervention is at the village. That's where the rubber hit the road. And that's where we have to take action.
But that messaging at the local level is critical, and maybe others can take a leaf out of your book.
Yeah, and in fact, we have formed a fire-free alliance where we bring companies in who are interested to share the best practice, so that this thing can spread and cover the other areas that's not in our concession or beyond. Yep.
Okay, we wish you luck, and we do
Thank
hope
you.
the practice spreads. Khiang there, Vice Chairman of Royal Golden Eagle, joining Sri and myself around the desk here at the SUX.